Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. No, they did not remove the videos. I removed them. It was fun to have them up. And I'd just like to say that there's the accusation I was inciting violence, which is a legitimate and valid accusation. I was inciting violence against people who had initiated violence, which maybe if we get really strict about it we would say is I was inciting self-defense. Is inciting violence the same as inciting self-defense? I leave it to the fair-mindedness of my audience, as I've heard Christopher Hitchens say, which is probably an English term. There's a reason we think of the English as more educated than ourselves, and there's a reason that they're not actually more educated than ourselves. Both those things are true, which perhaps I won't take the time to go into. But I thought I would replace those two videos, those 4 videos, technically 2. There was a 2-part video, and some excerpts from it I posted several hours before, and there was a different video. 4 videos removed, only 2 videos really removed. I hope somebody got a copy of them and will put them up, but I just don't want all my videos to be destroyed when my account's suspended or something. So I thought that I would replace those videos inciting violence against the people who incite violence, and the people who are attacking us, and the people who seek to put us in jail for just saying things that we have a right to say. Who says we have a right to say them? I do. You want to fight about it? So I thought I'll replace those videos with a video of the national anthems of America and Britain. I'll just read from each of them the things that we find relevant and important. Now, shall we start with Britain? Starting with the father. Would that be historically appropriate? Unfortunately, I don't have the year as written. I should stop and go Google it, but you're free to go Google the year that Britain's anthem was written. America's anthem was written in 1814, September 20th, 1814. Francis Scott Key, as we know, in 1814. Britain's we'll start with. Britain's is shorter. And I have to say this, I've found several good copies of America's anthem on YouTube and various Metacafe, maybe not there, and other places. There's good versions of our anthem. You can't find a good version of Britain's anthem. Well, there's operetta versions and stuff, but what the hell are you going to do with that? You can't understand it unless you already know what they're saying. It's like hard rock or something. As bad or worse than hard rock. So I challenge you to find a good copy of Britain's national anthem. What the hell's wrong with you guys? The greatest nation in history until the United States. And the United States did not overtake you. The United States was born from you. Come on. Could you be proud of your heritage, please? Put your national anthem up and sing it loud, guys. But they're ashamed of it. They think it's racist and so on. So let's go with it. I'm going to be quoting from a copy of Rule Britannia, Britannia Rule the Waves. But I'm going to be editing out repetitions. So wherever there's lines or refrains that come again or things they've already said, that's cut. It's only 19 words long, 107 or something. When Britain first at heaven's command arose from out the azure main, this was the charter of the land, and guardian angels sang this strain. So as Britain comes up out of the sea, the ancient primordial sea, guardian angels sing, Rule Britannia, Britannia rule the waves, Britons never, never, never shall be slaves. The nations not so blessed as thee must in their turn to tyrants fall. While thou shalt flourish great and free, the dread and envy of them all. The whole thing's nice, and the last 4 lines that I'm reading here are the best, the zenith, the apex, the climax. And then it goes on to sing the chorus 2 more times, and that's it, an end. This is in the version I have, and that's fine. The nations not so blessed as thee must in their turn to tyrants fall. While thou shalt flourish great and free, the dread and envy. Now that's the bit there. The dread and envy. So everyone in the world dreads you. Everyone in the world dreads Britain. Now the 3 words I like best out of the whole thing are rule Britannia, Britannia rule the waves. 3 words in 5-word connection, repeating some words, because it's an island, and if they rule the waves, no one can touch them. Now, that automatically dates the song pre-aviation, pre-Kitty Hawk, if you know, and you do. As far as I can see, America switched this up in one way. It said, we are made of people who come from other countries. Other than that, I can't see a difference between the British and the American dream. In Britain, you're born there, and you're able to make something of your life and be happy. It was a nation of shopkeepers, people who had their own business and had more than enough, and enough to buy stuff and provide other people with things, by profit and trade. And the American dream, of course, eclipses that, but hello, America eclipsed Britain. And now I just want to mention, hey, do you know that the gambit of power passed from Britain to America in about 1945 or so? About World War II? Peacefully? We didn't fight Britain for it. They acceded power to us, sort of as a result of a partnership in the war. But it happened. How often does that happen in history? You couldn't name 2 other times when national sovereignty and whole national hegemony over regions or whichever peacefully was switched over to this other guy or this other country, this other system. Doesn't happen. Does not happen. So we didn't rebel against Britain in 1945 or anything. We took over, and they were now the underdog. That was all there was to it. A beautiful, beautiful precedent for us to be able to set. Not that we need to succumb and other people raise to power, but the idea that power transitions and changes and so on can just be evolutions. They don't have to be wars. They don't have to be births. They don't have to be bloody and climactic and violent. They could just be changes. Different idea. Now to the American national anthem. Francis Scott Key, September 20th, 1814. Now, Francis Scott Key watched a battle for a fort in colonial America in the War of 1812, which didn't take place in 1812. And he wrote this poem, and here it is. And it was later set to music, to a popular tune.